is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra.
Endgame program, and be done with them.
And we are back. It's Sunday night, guys, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's time to talk G.I. Joe Transformers on the late night stream. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, think about hitting that like button as well. Think about hitting that subscribe button. We really appreciate you. Anyways, so we're gonna jump right into it. I gotta get comfy. I gotta get set up. Let's see what I gotta do here. Just give me 1 second. I think I am missing something. I got too many windows open currently. Too many windows. I'm going to close that one. I'm going to close that one. And I'm going to close that one. Let's see what I'm missing here. Let's see. I need to go to a page here. I'm already live. Manage. This one. Alright. So, sorry, just getting into here, setting all this up. Boom, boom, boom. Making this a little bigger. Oh, let's go. Let's see. Okay, that's down. Okay. Welcome. Okay. Okay. So, it's late. It's time to talk some G.I. Joes, time to talk some Transformers, mostly G.I. Joe. A lot of people have been joining lately to talk about G.I. Joes. So, and Transformers has been good lately, but I find the news cycle is a lot more about G.I. Joes at times or whatever. So it's easier to talk about G.I. Joes currently. I guess my focus right now is about G.I. Joes. So I'm kind of like secular like that, where like half the season I find I'm more into G.I. Joes, and then around April or so I'll start to get more into Transformers, and that is more than likely because I start to get hyped and get ready because I get to go to TFCon in Toronto. So that's why like the Transformers kind of take over. But don't worry, it's always going to be a mix of Transformers and G.I. Joes here on the channel. But you know what? Like always, we'll start off with a little bit of housekeeping. And we'll talk about a few acquisitions while we wait for a few people to file in. You know what? This week, like last week, I still have this stuff here on my desk. I haven't done anything with it. Like last week, I went over these bags of Generation 1 Transformers that I found at the thrift store, which was like crazy. I mean, when we break it down, there was nothing crazy in those bags, and some of them are not in perfect condition or anything, but it's just the idea of going into the thrift store and there being like bags of Generation 1 Transformers. Like, it kind of like really threw me for a loop because like I've talked about on the channel here before, I've been on such a dry streak of finding nothing at the thrift store. The idea of going in and finding like 5 or 6 bags of Transformers was like, it kind of blew my mind. I was not ready for it. And it's with the thrift store, it's 100% the thrill of the hunt for me. It's the thrill of the hunt. And like, I just like going in there, like going to find, just whatever you can find or whatever, right? It's total luck. And anyone who tells you any different is wrong, okay? The thrift store, no matter what thrift store it is, it's just completely random luck. And the only way to increase your luck is if you can continuously go there more often, because the random luck increases just a smidge or whatever, right? So for the thrift store, I'm trying to think. I actually didn't pick up anything at the thrift store this week. So another, I mean, I'm coming off an epic week with these Transformers. So if you didn't catch it last week, if you're new to the channel, last week I went to the thrift store and there was just these like bags of Transformers. There's a Generation 1 Grimlock. There's a Generation 1 Mirage there. A bunch of Constructicons, an Astro Train. There's a Trax here or whatever. There's a whole ton of stuff or whatever. Anyways, so got extremely lucky and realized I got extremely lucky. But you know what? It's pretty cool for me. So nothing from the thrift store this week. But I do have two quick mail calls. And I'll just come over here quickly and grab these things. So do a couple of mail calls. I love, like, who doesn't enjoy getting stuff in the mail, right? I actually love getting stuff in the mail. So, and you know, like I talk about all the time, I actually don't even usually know what are in these bags because, sorry guys, I'm moving my mic here closer. I often don't know what's in these bags because just the way it works out, where just a second now, guys. No, I don't want to do that. Anyways, so because I order so much stuff that sometimes I don't even know what comes in until I get it. So let's see. Let's open this one. And of course, I'm trying not to dox anyone here with addresses on here, my own address. So it's always a pain. This will be some Generation 1. This is some G.I. Joe pieces. And like I said, I've talked about it before. It's a little bit of a hack here. It's really bright here tonight. I cut these open in this way so I can reuse these. It's easy to tape these up, send these out again. It's just a little hack or whatever. Some garbage. Let's see what I got here. So get down the old spectacles and get this open. Painter's tape is your friend when boxing stuff up to put it in the mail. Hey Sub, hey Carlos. A mail call was a classified Lifeline and Night Viper from Hasbro Pulse. Nice addition to the collection, Carlos. Man, I am so bad. I should have a knife or something. Trying to get this open. Give me 1 second, guys. It is fighting with me today, the tape. That's it. I'm going nuclear. Got some scissors here. And I'm just cutting this open. I was trying to save the bag, and I just can't handle it. Okay. So, like, it's so funny, right? Like, so I'm on a bunch of Facebook groups, and you know what? No, you don't have to enjoy Facebook group to use it properly or whatever. But I use it. I get a lot of stuff there for my collection. And it's such a random thing. These people in my group, my online friends, they always have these sales. And look, so I got another part to a Swamp Skier, Real American Hero. Because I was saying, this one, I had an extra one, but I kept on popping off. So I just got another one with a better bite to it. So it click on here, hopefully. And it should stay on. Awesome. So that's almost complete. That's epic. Of course, we're getting the Swamp Skier and G.I. Joe Classified. Then I've got this complete, sorry, I'm trying to find something there. Got this complete Silver Mirage here just kicking around on my desk. And I was missing one of the little green missiles. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to complete this. I now have the other little green missile here. And that's complete. Got to put that back in the case. That's how I roll here. I buy the little pieces so I can complete my stuff. Hey, Joe fan, welcome aboard. Anyways, so that's what I do. That's what I spend my money on. I spend my money on little itty bitty parts so I can like fix up my my Joes. My Real American Hero collection, which we don't talk about a lot here on the channel. I should probably talk about it a little more. But I don't, because classified is the new hotness with the collectors or whatever, right? And I don't want to scare anyone away with the Real American Hero talk. Also, I forgot this. The last things. So this is just a piece to the Killer Whale motorcycle, which I don't need, but I actually just needed an extra wheel for an extra bike that I have. So you know what? Just completed the bike. That's all I'm doing. Completing little parts, little plastic garbage. Boom, down there. Okay, so like, it's funny because so this week I've actually been quite busy because I had a huge like sale. I sold so much a Real American Hero G.I. Joe stuff. I had extras or whatever. So pieces, accessories, figures, and I just finished it. It took me almost over a month from start to finish. And basically, I'm finally done. So I sent out, like those little packages, I sent out about 12 or 15 of those packages, and then about 5 or 6 large boxes of G.I. Joe stuff, and all across Canada, because, helping people finish their collections. Carlos says, I've been charged by Pulse for Hit and Run, Big Lob, Mole Rat version 2. I should get them sometime this week. That's epic. I didn't know he would be so hard to find. I thought maybe Hasbro would overproduce him and I would sit on Amazon for a while. Nope. Sub, which figure are you talking about that you were wondering that they were hoping to over... Oh, okay. I missed your first chat. I have Studio Series Sub-Zero from EB Games. Managed to get the manager to do a store-to-store transfer from a store in Saskatchewan to Burlington without charging me to deliver. You know what's funny about that, Sub? That's pretty epic, okay? So good job on you. Good job on you. The funny thing about that is the other day, if you were here, Sub, I can't remember. I picked up Road Pig. For G.I. Joe Classified, because he was on clearance, and I wanted, I phoned a store downtown in my own city, and I was like, hey, can you transfer this to EB Games closer to me? And they're like, no, we'll have to charge you $10. I'm like, but I could just order it on the website and get it sent to my house for $10. And they're like, yeah, we won't do store-to-store transfers. I'm like, oh, okay. And now, Sub, great job, buddy, because you got one transferred halfway across the country. So, I mean, good for you, bud. Good for you. You know, it's funny. So, I originally passed on 86 Soundwave because I just bought the Legacy Soundwave. And I was like, I don't want to spend that much money. But now I do collect more 86 figures. I'm kind of kicking myself that I don't have the 86 Soundwave at the moment. What I'll probably have to do is maybe pick them up later down the road and maybe sell the Legacy Soundwave at some point. Subwave, not Sub-Zero. Yes, sorry, dude. EB manager told me they are allowed to do this, but not too much, and they won't get in trouble. A little secret. Well, okay, I'll push them next time. I'm like, well, there's a guy on my live stream that says you're allowed to do this. Yeah, I'll try that next time. It was funny because I had to drive downtown, really downtown, park on the side of a road, get my buddy to come with me, stay in the car. I had to run in the mall. The door that I usually go into was locked. I had to run around the mall, imagine the size of a mall downtown, find an extra door, go in the front, and run into EB Games, get it, and then run back to the car before, the cop said, hey, you got to move this car or whatever. And this dude gets his, transferred halfway across the country for free. Wow. And the guy wouldn't do it within the city. That's not cool. Anyways, whatever. Good job, bud. That's funny. Anyways, good job. Okay, so, where's my, Sub, you threw me off. Okay, So second mail call. Now, it's pretty thin, pretty big, standard size. What do we think this is? I think we all know what this is. I'll pull it out. Throw that down. And we have a G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero comic book. The G.I. Joe yearbook #1. I mean, it was like dirt cheap on one of my forums. So I was like, dude, I gotta pick this up. So, like I've said before, like I don't go crazy with the comic books, but I have a ton of them, and I didn't have this one, and it looked like a pretty cool one to get. So the G.I. Joe yearbook. Let me see if I can get this on the dual stream here. The G.I. Joe yearbook. Anyways, pretty cool. Everything you need to know about America's favorite heroes. Anyways, that's cool. That's cool. So, I can't get this to focus. Yeah, there you go. Anyways, pretty sweet. Add that to the collection. So, I think there's 4 yearbooks. I think I have 1, 3, and 4. I guess I'm only missing number 2 at the moment. Throw that down there. Get a drink. Okay, well now, Sub, you're telling the real secrets here now. Sub says, to be honest, this manager I've known for almost 20 years because he used to work with my brother in the mid-2000s when he ran a store, so maybe that helped. Yes, you're right. Maybe we put a big YMMV on that. Yeah, so that's cool, though. It worked out for you. Anyone gonna jump aboard the Image Comics Kickstarter? So what's the Kickstarter for, Carlos? I'm not up on that Kickstarter. What's it for? Is it Image? Sorry. Yes, that's the Image G.I. Joe collection, right? Is that what we're talking about? The old ones? Yeah. I have some of those. I have big MMV. I have a bunch of those because I collected them once they were coming out. But it was this awkward time in my life where my girlfriend and I had moved away from where we lived, and we were trying to find jobs. And I'd go to the comic book store and pick up some G.I. Joe comics, but comics started to get expensive back then, and they were like $5 or $6 Canadian, and like there'd only be like 20-25 pages in them. And so I eventually had to stop actually buying the comics at that time. And so I stopped getting them. So I have the first like 30 of them, maybe in a box somewhere or whatever. But I don't think I'll probably jump on the Kickstarter. Just because there's more stuff I'd rather spend my money on. So Carlos, are you going to get it? I did the first Image Kickstarter for the Marvel comic run. That's cool, buddy. I mean, like, the comics are pretty epic, right? Like, all of the G.I. Joe comics have been pretty good. I am enjoying the Energon Universe ones, are the newest series or whatever. That being said, I'm often behind. I'm probably about 10 issues behind right now that I haven't read. I have them. I just have to allot out the time to read them, and I just haven't done it as of yet. Anyways, where's my list of stuff? Did I close that window? I think I did. I think I closed the window that I need. Just 1 second, guys. Okay, got my window. Now, I lied to you earlier. I did get something from the thrift store. And we're going to open it here. Look, I'm opening it here right on cam. So this was $2.99 Canadian. And we'll get this open. I had forgotten about it. And so this is, I believe, what is it called? Trouble at the Docks or Night at the Docks, part of the 50th anniversary collection, Vamp. And I think that's the one this one is. It's pretty good condition. I mean, it's missing the back here. It doesn't have the turd or anything, but it's not broken or whatever. And if you remember correctly, this is not the first time I've picked this up and talked about it on the show. Like, and it comes with a steering wheel. Oh, I never noticed it came with a steering wheel. This is actually the second time I've picked this up from the same thrift store, which is weird because I picked it up and then I traded it to a local collector, and now I got it again. So I mean, it's kind of weird, but you know, I don't need this. I actually have one in the box. But I will add this to the trade pile. Anyways, pretty cool. Look, the simple rule at the thrift store is no Joe left behind, right? So you can't leave a Joe behind. The only thing, sometimes I've left some like modern Joes behind, but like this is pretty cool. So I'll add this to the trade pile, and yeah. Anyways, there it is. So there it is. It's got that. There's like a star there. It's got like the camo pat on it or whatever. So pretty cool. Anyways, that was from the thrift store, and I forgot to talk about earlier in the show. Danger at the Dock set. You are correct, Joe fan. Yeah, sorry. You know what, guys? For some reason, I can never remember the name of that set. I'm always like Trouble at the Docks, Night at the Docks. I can never remember that for some reason. Yeah. Wasn't that a vehicle 2-back from the Toys R Us? I have that new as well. I know. Yeah, sub it was. Yeah. Yeah, it was with the Night Landing. I have it there. Fine sub. I'll stand up. I'll get it for you. Jeez, stuff flying down here. Whoops. Yeah. So this is it in the box. We've done this whole thing before. I got this at the thrift store, and then I showed this off here that I have here. So this is the vamp here. Obviously the one here is missing the roof, and it's missing the missile pod, and it's supposed to have a shovel there. I love the boat. Man, I've got so many vintage Cobra Eels to set up some scenes with these guys. Someday I'll get some dioramas. I don't know when, but someday I'll get to them. Okay, I'm just gonna put that down right here. And of course, oops. I knocked these off my shelf up above, and I'll just show these off right now quickly. So, remember G.I. Joe Retaliation, the movie? Like, G.I. Joe Retaliation, the movie, not the best movie, but not the worst movie. Better than the Snake Eyes movie. And anyway, but these, I was never a big fan of the movie toys, but this this Storm Shadow, pretty amazing. I can't get this to focus on this. Pretty amazing. It's probably one of the better modern Storm Shadow figures. That's why I picked it up, because I really liked the design of it. And then this is obviously a Crimson Guard, and once again, not featured in the movie at all. But if you're into Crimson Guards, which the Crimson Guard is one of my favorite all-time figures, I had to make sure I picked this guy up because it's probably one of the better modern Crimson Guards. But you know what? I don't do modern G.I. Joe very often, 3 3/4 or 4-inch or whatever you want to consider it. But these were muskets. Anyways, I also have the Cobra Commander from this series, but it actually fell down behind one of my cases, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to retrieve it. It sucks. Let's see. It's some good bones for a custom project. You are correct, sub. I'm not a big custom guy. I know, but that's why I do pick those things up, because sometimes other people are big custom guys and they want those things or whatever, right? Night at the Doxbury, huh? I have the Snowcat Hour Ice in. Two things, yeah. No, wait. I have the Snowcat or Ice Thingy 2-pack. Yeah, that's the other one. This one's not familiar. Oh, you don't have that one. Oh, that's funny. I have a ton of Retaliation figures. Yeah, I think, like I said, I only have 3 of them, which the ones reminded me of the Real American Hero series. Bought a bunch on clearance at Winners and Toys R Us. I snagged up everything I could find. No Joe left behind. Good motto. Like, I must have missed it. Sub, I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if we've talked about this before. But a buddy of mine always talks about how, I believe he says that they had, like, G.I. Joe, this series, at the dollar store here in Canada at some point. I don't remember them being at the dollar store, but he always tells me stories that these were at the dollar store. Or maybe he's referring to these. I'm not really sure. But I missed them. I know if I had seen them at the dollar store, I would have picked them up for sure. The only thing I can remember finding that was cool at the dollar store back in the day here in Canada was they had Star Wars Episode 1 battle droids. So I was like, well, I mean, I'm going to pick up like 5 battle droids because then I can have, like, you know, big scenes with them or whatever. But I don't remember the G.I. Joes. Yeah, they did. Hey, yeah, so you remember them too. I don't know. I didn't know that guy back then, so obviously I must have just missed him. I don't know. Maybe they were only there for a bit and I missed them. So that covers everything basically for the thrift store and the acquisitions and the mail call. No, sorry, not those. They had a weird dollar store line that sort of showed up in Canada. Okay. There's like a cobweb on me or something. I moved some of these toys. They fell down from the top. I felt like some cobwebs fell on me. Okay. So let me get my list. So, okay. Quickly. So last week was pretty busy, right? It was pretty busy for pre-orders. Hopefully everyone got their pre-orders in for their Joes and their Transformers. Quickly, just to go over. So I like, not like everyone. Some people out there pre-order the whole wave. I do not do that anymore. I've cut down because I want to afford the Transformers, the G.I. Joes, and other stuff from vintage stuff or whatever. So I've kind of got to cut it down a little bit. So, but for pre-orders, I did manage. I made sure I got Airtight because Airtight is looking badass. Looks like he stepped right off the cartoon TV. So I got Airtight. I did pre-order the Hydro Viper. I think the Hydro Viper's looking pretty badass as well. Badassatron. So yeah, the Hydro Viper's looking neat. Very good, very good. I want to see it in person. I think the purple they went with was like, it's very, it's got a hard punch to it. I don't know. It's not my favorite color, but I'm going to wait until I see it in person to see, you know, what it actually looks like and how that mask, you know, like the helmet, the second helmet actually looks, and the swap process. So I'm not concerned, but I'm keeping my eye on that stuff. But for now, I did order Airtight and the Hydro Viper. Held off on everyone else right now, but it doesn't mean I don't want them. It's just that I put the priority on Airtight and the Hydro Viper for now. Retaliation figures wound up at Five Below in the States. I mean, yeah, like Five Below is a pretty cool store. I actually, every time I go to the States and I see a Five Below, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna run in there because they have some quality product for $5, right? And you can lock into some stuff. Obviously, you've got to get into that, like, you know, clearance, you know, cycle or whatever, where you got to find something that was recently out. But I've hit some good stuff in the clearance section. Oh, sorry, in Five Below as well. I remember one time they had Transformers animated figures, I believe, and I got the female helicopter, which I can't remember her name right now. That used to be the Spider. I can't remember her name right now. Anyways, so yeah, sometimes you can get some good stuff at Five Below for sure. Let's see. Shane says he did his pre-orders. He got 4 Hydro Vipers and 4 Royal Guards. Shane, look, if I had your money, I would just burn my money, okay? Because, dude, like that's a lot. That's a lot, my friend. That's a lot. But you know what? You gotta do what makes you happy. It makes you feel good, right? So yeah, so I got Airtight and I got the Hydro Viper. Looking forward to those guys. Arachnid, yes, sub, you're right. And then so for Transformers, of course we went over these last stream, like what was actually available. And then so for Transformers, I put in a pre-order for Skywarp because I definitely wanted to get Skywarp. I got Thundercracker coming, and I'm really enjoying the Generation 1 Studio Series 86 figures. And it's so funny because those figures get a lot of hate on social media because there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of newer collectors out there that hate Generation 1 stuff and they just want movie stuff or whatever. And that's okay if they want that. That's fine. But I don't really understand the hate for the Generation 1 stuff. It's like if the Generation 1 stuff didn't exist, your movie stuff wouldn't exist at all, right? So there's room for both of it. But this wave is really heavy on the 86 stuff. But I did put a pre-order in for Skywarp, which I'm really excited for. Skywarp looks amazing. And then I was like, I put an order in for Shockwave as well. I do have the previous release, the C Shockwave, but there was something about the coloring of the 86 one that looked just a little better. And so I'm going to put the order in. I don't know if I'll keep it. I'm going to keep it. I'll wait until it ships later on in the year. Sub says, I got Skywarp, picked up Thundercracker last week at my local Walmart. That's badass. Love it. Shane, I'm all in for Joe's. I pick and choose figures in other lands. That's cool. That's cool. I'm actually just more poking fun that you pick up a lot of figures, i.e. like 4 Hydro Vipers. Like, that's pretty crazy, dude. That's hardcore. Do you have a big display then? Do you do dioramas? What do you do? Like, what do you do with your, like, all your army builders? Let me know. Because you got 4 Cobra Guards coming as well. Yeah, Royal Guards, 4 Royal Guards. Like, are you going to display them in like a couple in the flying mode and then like a couple in the guard mode? Like, what's your display going to look like with all the Royal Guards? Let me know. Sub, my Road Pig, I believe Road Pig was on sale. I believe he was like 50% off. So I paid, I believe, $29.99. It might have been, just 1 second. Give me 1 second. Nah, I can't get it right now. Okay. It's in a box right there. I believe it was $29.99. It could have been $30.99 as well. Like $30. I paid $30 for it. He's on 50% off right now. I believe Sub, Heavy Duty is on sale now as well at EB Games. You can get him for, I think, $39, or I think he's on he's on Amazon as well for $39. Some display and 1 to stock. Yeah, 3 different variations of the Royal Guard for sure. Sorry guys, burped. Not drunk, just had too much water. That's cool. So that's what you do, is it? So that's cool. That's cool, dude. So it's funny because that's a perfect segue. Well, segue into, now guys, display images is going to show last week's stuff. No, it's not. I couldn't have done that much better. You know what? I'm going to move this back. I don't like this down here. I'm going to move this back up here. It's away from, it's the dual stream. Won't be able to see it. The guys on the reels or whatever, the shorts, they won't be able to see my face, but that's okay. But that's not why we're supposed to show. That was just fluke because I said we segued. But, cancel. We're looking at the wrong thing. We go down here. We go down here. We go clickety, clickety, clickety. Now, people are already finding this in Target. I actually was quite amazed. This is not my photo, obviously, so I grabbed this from social media. But like, I mean, people are finding the Cobra Law Guard out in the wild in Target. That's pretty cool. Like, I was not expecting such a quick turnaround on that. Segway scooter way. Okay, sub. So that's it's really. Oh, sorry guys. I guess these. Oh god, I've never had such a strong urge to come over myself and sneeze. That was weird. Like, it actually stopped me mid talk. It was so weird. Anyways, sorry about that. So, yeah. So, like, the thing about these figures, right? They go up for renders. They go up for like they show in the live stream. Then they go up for pre-order, and a lot of times, like, there's a bit of a wait for them, right? So when they come out like right away, it's kind of cool. So yeah, so the Royal Guard, people have been finding it like locally, obviously all at Target. So that's kind of cool. EB says April, so if it shows up earlier in Canada, yeah. I got one Royal Guard on pre-order. If they go on sale or hit clearance, I'll pick more up. Yeah, the Royal Guard, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I am impressed with this mock-up, this design or whatever. I think it looks cool. That little face with this half smile on it kind of freaks me out. There's another photo. People in Target. You can see the Target. This guy picked up a few of them, you can see. But this guy... This guy, second now, let's see. One second. So there is actually, that's the link to the Royal Guard on Amazon. So Amazon Canada. He's available to go right now. I believe the Royal Guard and Amazon.com is currently sold out. It's sold out pretty quick. Yes, it is sold out on Amazon.com. But Canada still has them available to ship. Yeah, see that guy picked up 5. Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, so I like, the thing is with the Royal Guard, I think they did an amazing job with him. I think he looks spectacular. The amount of accessories with him is insane. I don't know, like, I want to get it, but at the same time, I'm not huge into Cobra Law, and I don't even have that much against Cobra Law stuff. It's just, I don't know where it would fit. It's kind of expensive. Here in Canada, it's $51 or $52. But it's very highly detailed, and I'm really liking all the aesthetics about it. The more and more I look at it, I kind of want to pick it up. But like Carlos said, he would pick up more if they went on clearance. I would probably pick up one if they went on sale a bit. So they're $51 here in Canada. If this went down to like $40, I would probably pick it up. I don't know if it will, though. I think it's going to be pretty popular. Like I said, it's already sold out on Amazon.com. But it's still available on Amazon Canada. And then EB Games has it, like, a bunch of places have it. So it's not flying off the shelves here in Canada for sure, because in the US you're kind of limited, right? This is not a Target exclusive. Never mind. This is available everywhere, so it's already on Amazon. Sorry, I was getting confused. Zartan is going to be the more difficult one to find in the USA because he is a Target exclusive, right? So he might be a little bit more difficult to find. I'm old enough to remember the original Cobra Law 3-packs peg warmed hard at retail. I grabbed him for like $4.99 Canadian at Woolco. I'm old too, sub. Yeah, oldies forever. Yeah, guys. That's a long time ago. Woolco, hey, in Canada. That's a long time ago. I vaguely remember Woolco. There was one downtown where I lived back in the day, and so I really don't have too many memories of it. I picked up most of my GI Joes at Kmart and Zellers back in the day. I do remember going to Kmart and Zellers a lot. But yeah, I don't necessarily remember Woolco. I'm sure it was a totally badass department store, but I don't necessarily have that many memories of it. I'm speaking with my wallet. Since Hasbro made Nemesis Enforcer so hard to get, I'm not getting any of these Cobra Laws. Sub, that's a good point. So I do have the once a man Cobra Commander. He was easy to get. I walked into EB Games. I gave them the number. They put down the pre-order. It came in like a month later. Boom, bada bing. And I think a lot of us, especially here in Canada, we thought we were going to be able to walk in and pre-order Nemesis Enforcer, and that was not the case here in Canada. Cannot get Nemesis Enforcer, so I missed Nemesis Enforcer. And then same thing, I missed out on Pythona. And then, so it's kind of like, do I really need this Cobra Law Royal Guard? Probably not. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold off on it for now. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe because it is available on Amazon, there's a good chance, depending on how stock levels hold up, there is a good chance it will go on clearance later on down the road. Hopefully. Billionaire. Homie said Woolco. Wow. Anyone remember Towers department stores? No. Okay. Sub, is that from Ontario? Because I'm originally from the East Coast and I don't remember Towers department stores. So maybe we didn't have those out here. I have Once a Man from EB Games 2. That's from Sub. Shane, yep, I remember Towers. Yeah, I don't remember Towers. We had a Woolco across the street. So you had like direct access to some G.I. Joes and stuff like that if it was directly across the street. Towers is the only store I clearly remember seeing Fortress Maximus. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't remember seeing Fortress Maximus in store. That's a long time ago. Okay, so I think, and by the way, I would say there's a good chance if you're American, guys, that you'll probably be able to walk into a Target and find these Cobra Law Guards. But here is the DPCI number for Target, so you can look it up to see if your store does have it in the USA. Of course, right now, like I said, you can click the link I shared earlier, and you can go to Amazon Canada and just order this if you want to order it. It's available. Yeah. So I love this is a hack too, guys, sometimes. So see this, if we look closely at this Target screen, it says GICCS. GIJ, I apologize. GIJCS is the short name, the business name for G.I. Joe Classified. So you can actually take that and plug it into Amazon. And sometimes you'll actually find other listings that aren't showing up right away because they have their, like this is Ruby Deluxe. This is a Cobra Law Guard, right? So, but the code name for it is Ruby Deluxe. Anyways, so sometimes, yeah, like you can do searches for the GIJCS, and you'll find different stuff. And then, of course, you've got the DBCI number for Target in case you need help finding this in the stock store. Consumers was amazing. Love Consumers Distributing, guys. You guys are doing a trip down memory lane in the chat. Consumers Distributing was so much fun. Getting the catalog, looking at those catalogs. Like, when I was younger, I wanted to be one of those people that had to set up the catalog displays. That's what I wanted to do, because those catalog displays in the Sears book, the Consumer's book, they were so cool. And I'm like, oh my God, like I just want to take my stuff and make epic dioramas like they do. And they do that for a living. They used to get paid to do that, right? So that's pretty sweet. Billionaires, he's like, mine never had anything in stock. Well, that was always the downside with Consumers, right? You'd go and you'd look through the book or whatever out front, and you're like, oh, I want this G.I. Joe or this Transformer. And then you would fill out the little sheet, and you'd bring in and go, here's my sheet, here's what I want. And they're like, sorry, we don't have any of those in stock right now. Come back another day. And you're like, instant tears. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Anyways. Classic. Oh yeah, fill out the boxes and they'd come back saying out of stock. Yeah, so it seems like this was a reoccurring nightmare for most kids. Filling out your order by the little blue pencils. Yep, the little blue pencils. I remember the little blue pencils. I remember Toys and Wheels and Dominion Toys in out malls. I remember Toys and Wheels. But I don't, yeah. Anyways, it's so funny. It's so funny the stores we used to have back in the day. And now, guys, like anyone here in Canada, we have nothing here in Canada. No Zellers, no Target. We just have Walmart. Toys R Us is closing. Like nothing. Online retail is going to be the only way to get anything. None of them stock G.I. Joe Classified anyways. They barely have a Transformers collection or selection. Sorry. I ordered the original Duke from Consumers and came out came a snow job from the back with a big ass sticker on his card. Oh my God. The stickers. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember like those stickers, like it was like the shipping logo or the shipping form. And it would have like this pink and like blue, like, you know, like tables on it. And it would be like stuck to the side of the packaging. You're like, oh my gosh. And you just rip it off and it would just like destroy the paper. Like it was crazy. Crazy. Anyways, like, oh my gosh. Anyways, those Cobra Law Royal Guards are pretty sweet. Like I said, I'm tempted to get one, but I think I'm gonna wait on it until they go on sale. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Walmart is just online, but Walmart online, like, sorry Shane, I can't remember. Are you Canadian or American? Walmart Canada has a pretty bad selection of stuff, though. I find like they'll get the new stuff in. Yeah, Toys R Us is leaving Canada. It's closing down. It sucks. I mean, to be fair, I don't shop there anyways because their prices are ridiculous. But yeah, they're closing down. But like Walmart Canada's online is like ridiculous. They'll get the new stuff in for like a week and then it just disappears. And then they'll get these random like drops of stuff sometimes. But like normally you cannot count on them at having anything good in stock. The one behind your house just closed. Maybe they'll throw some good stuff out in the trash and you can go get it. Oh, Shane, you're in BC. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of where everyone is. There's a lot of Canadians here, but you know, I'm not afraid to talk to the Americans as well. Swish, you can at least agree you would rather have Battle Force 2000 classifieds than any Cobra Law figures, right? Oh my gosh. Woo! That's a sub now. That's a debate, my friend. That is a debate. Battle Force 2000 figures or Cobra Law figures? I might actually prefer the Cobra Law figures. Because, okay, hear me out for a second. Hear me out. Battle Force 2000 is the dumbest thing ever. Sorry. Okay. Not a fan of their like stupid space age stuff or whatever they have. And at least the Cobra Law, while dumb in its own way, is kind of cool. It's, you know, it's on the border. It's cool, kind of cool. But I already have the Cobra Commander. I would have actually bought or purchased Nemesis Enforcer, but I just couldn't find him. And I would have purchased Poithona. I would have, but I just couldn't find her. So sub, to shut you down, I would probably prefer to have the Cobra Law guys than the Battle Force 2000. Sorry. That sucks. Some open back up in the US, but they are sad. Yeah, for Toys R Us, it sucks, yeah. The only Toys R Us out in the city has turned half the store into some sort of jungle gym for kids. The end is near for this location. Wow, that's really weird. So basically, they've split their store in two and decided to rent it out to a different company. That's so weird. The last time my Toys R Us stocked up was when the Falcon came out. Yeah, for a while, my Toys R Us, or one of them locally, was like fully stocked. It had a whole wall of like G.I. Joe stuff. But like the stuff was really overpriced. And like I never purchased anything in this and from them. I was out of my way out of toys when Battle Force 2000 debuted. Yeah, it was a long time ago. You know, we've all had that moment where, like, as maybe adult collectors, that we like, you know, no, we're done with this. We're gonna move along. But now as adult collectors, we're back into it. It's crazy. Ronan. In Maryland, we had one Toys R Us open up in the mall, size of a shoe store. Yeah, I've seen those little Toys R Us's as well. Almost like a Toys R Us Express or something. You know, they're weird. Like, they only get a certain amount of toys, so it's not the same. Cause like, I can remember. So guys, like Ronan, I'm in Canada, but I remember going to the Toys R Us stores, like in I believe it was Clayton, New York. It's like upstate New York, and you would go in there. And they would just have like aisles. The aisles would be like hundreds of feet long of just like action figures. And then like the next aisle was just like die-cast cars. And like they had so much product in their stores. It was like insanity. I mean, it was great for the customer because you had so much stuff to pick from. But I can understand why they basically went like bankrupt or whatever in the US. Okay, Sub's getting into it now. How can you like Star Wars, Swish, and not like Battle Force 2000? It's like Sci-Fi Joe Team. Because it's so dumb. Okay, that's the thing. You nailed the nail on the head here. G.I. Joe is not sci-fi. So that's why I don't care about Battle Force 2000. Star Wars is sci-fi, and that's why I care about Star Wars. The Scout Trooper, my absolute favorite figure from Star Wars. Love this guy. He's so badass. He's sci-fi. He like has a floating motorcycle, like speeder. That guy's amazing. I don't need that in my G.I. Joe. Boom. You gotta keep them separate. So that puts you in your place, Sub. Yeah, it's too bad the Toys R Us never got it back under control, but yeah, it sucks. It's too bad. All right. Sorry, guys. Just reading something here. Where'd my window go? Okay. What else? So, what else are we talking about here tonight? Did the pre-orders? Okay, guys, we did forget something, and you guys are not going to be happy with this, okay? But quickly, there's the DCPI code. Yeah, whatever. Look at this image. I gotta find a new image. We forgot to talk about this last week. We talked about it, but we didn't have an image to show. This apparently is the helicopter from the G.I. Joe Ninja Turtles crossover that everyone's loving, and these are gonna sell out everywhere. G.I. Joe is so sci-fi. G.I. Joe is all sci-fi. Look, have Serpentor and dinosaurs now. But now, sci-fi, I don't know if I consider that sci-fi. That's like, I guess it's sci-fi, but not sci-fi in the way Battle Force 2000 is. It's just science fiction, but sci-fi is like, I don't know, Star Wars and stuff. I don't know. But that's fine. It's everyone's own prerogative, okay? That's what we have G.I. Joe for. Everyone has stuff that you're interested in. So, look, I'm not going to buy this helicopter, but does it look good? I think it looks good. I think for a Ninja Turtle crossover picture of a toy, I do think it looks actually really good. Now, my thing is though, usually Ninja Turtles have a little bit of a chunk to them, and like this must be fairly big if you can fit. It looks like 2 Ninja Turtles in here, potentially. I'm assuming you fit 2 Ninja Turtles in here. It looks like maybe the Leonardo Snake Eyes is in the cockpit. I'm not really sure. Anyways, this thing is kind of cool. It's kind of cool if you're into this. If you're going to do this crossover, you got to pick up this helicopter. It's pretty cool. Like, yeah, right, Ronan? That chopper's neat. Like, I think they really nailed that chopper. I want to see it. I'm actually going to have to go to the toy store when this comes out eventually and actually see it in person because it's really cool. Anyways, we forgot to talk about this last week. I didn't have a picture of it actively available. And I just stumbled across it earlier when I was doing some little research for the show. And you know what? I just wanted to talk about it quickly because this thing is drawing on me. Like I think this thing looks pretty cool. I think they've done a great job with it. I think if you're into this G.I. Joe Ninja Turtle crossover, you have to get the helicopter. I might pick that up at Toys R Us for $329 Canadian. It would certainly, I mean, this thing is going to be over $100 in Canada for sure. Have you seen the price of like the X-Wings and the Star Wars vehicles at Toys R Us? They're insane. You won't see it in Canada. Our stores suck. Agreed, sub. You won't see this in Canada. I like a little sci-fi in my Joe peanut butter. Yeah, that's cool, Ronan. True, sub. Yeah. Yeah, you won't. I don't think you'll see this in Canada. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if this is a Walmart or Target exclusive. I don't think there's any indication that it has been made an exclusive, but you never know. Sometimes it just happens. Yeah, that copter's got to be pretty big, right? Because like you got to think. I mean, there's at least one Ninja Turtle in the cockpit. It looks like it might be able to fit 2. So I mean, I think that's going to be a fairly big vehicle. Anyways, we'll get more pictures of it later. Now, the other thing I found interesting out and about on my trek across the interwebs. Did anyone see this? Oh, wait, no, it's too big. I'm tired. Has anyone seen these? These little pop-up G.I. Joe end cap displays at your Walmart. I ran into one of these the other day, and here in Canada. Now, it didn't have any figures in it. It had some other stuff in it, but it still had the G.I. Joe logo and everything. And so, you know, I feel like this is kind of, it's probably a weird thing. I'm sure you don't see it too often or whatever, because most stores in theory should have a spot for G.I. Joes, but they don't. So they put these up as an extra bonus. But I feel like if your store didn't have G.I. Joe in the first place, it's probably not going to put one of these things up. I don't know. But I mean, it's a cool little thing. I check for your end caps. So, sub, I seen one of these today. Or was it today or yesterday? Now, could it have, because Agent Helix and the Crimson Viper are on the display. So could this be like old and just being reused in this case? But I did see a display of one of these in a Walmart in Canada. It didn't have any figures in it, so it didn't have the new figures in it, but it had the display, and some people had laid some other stuff in it. So, I mean, this could show up in Canada. Maybe some of the higher end Walmarts that have a big sales through. But I don't know if you'll find this in like every Walmart moving forward. Don't lie to us, Swish. No, seriously, dude. Did I take a picture of it? I don't know. I didn't take a picture of it. I was thinking I should have took a picture of it, but I don't think I did. Let me just double check my photos. Put on my spectacles. No, I didn't. I didn't take a picture of it. Okay, sorry, but I did see it in a Walmart in Canada. Sub says AI. I don't believe it. Okay, well that means I gotta go back to the store, take a selfie with it, just so I prove it to Sub that this actually does really exist here in Canada. Yeah, I think Billionaire. I think I've seen this happen as well, like where they just put like GI Joe. Sorry, they put Transformers and like Marvel Legends in it because I think it's just a nice spot where they can put the figures because all the figures deluxes are all the same rough size, so they're able to just stock them in there because that's the number one thing I hate about Walmart is like the new guy to stock the shelves come out at the end of the night and they just open these boxes and sometimes they just stuff anywhere they can find a hole or whatever, right? So sometimes it makes it hard to find stuff. Maryland toy aisles look like the end times, so it could be a thing, but who knows? That's funny. Yeah, sometimes the Walmarts are a little hit and miss. All right, so I put a poll up before you guys showed up. I said, let's see what we said. I said, what does chat want to talk about? And so 73% of you guys said you want to talk about classified. Nobody said Transformers. So it's almost like I should remove Transformers from the topic list at all. We got 9% for Mask and Energon Universe is 18. Now, this is kind of interesting because it is a quite easy way to segue between stuff or whatever, right? So, okay. So, we'll get to that stuff. Okay, we're going to end that poll. So, it's kind of cool. And last time we'd seen toys was Crimson Guard retro cards. Those were a long time ago. Okay, so that was the poll. So, like, first of all, guys, okay, quickly. So, not that it matters, because you guys are here to see me, or whatever, right? Chat with me. We talk toys. So I released 2 long-form videos on the channel this week because I thought I was being snappy and getting on some news or whatever, and I do like reporting on news. I'm not much of a review channel right now. I'm more of a news channel that I like to talk about what's coming up, and I like to talk about what's ongoing, and just, let people know my feelings on things or whatever, right? So I did 2 videos this week. The first video was, I don't know, I'm assuming you guys know, but it does appear that the G.I. Joe AAA Snake Eyes game was canceled. And you know what? That kind of sucks. Did I have any faith in the game? Not really. Was it Sub? I want to talk about Capicella and Constructs. What's Capicella? And I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Spell it out phonetically. Anyways, so the G.I. Joe game was canceled. It was kind of weird. And then Hasbro came out and said, yeah, we're closing the studio, but the game's not canceled. Yeah, guys, that's not how that works. If you close a video game studio, the chance of that they're going to take that project that you're working on and move it to another studio is like 1%. I've only seen it happen like 1 or 2 times in the history of video games. So, I mean, that game is pretty much canceled. So, I actually don't know what you're talking about, Sub. I know what constructs are. Like the building toys from the 80s. I had a ton of those. But Capicella or whatever, I mean, I'm probably not saying that right. Find why don't you find an image on the internet and then post the link to the image in the chat? We'll see what you're talking about. Yeah, so the G.I. Joe game is canceled. I put a video up. I did a video. I thought the video was very well done, but the internet decided not to watch it, and it's kind of annoyed me a bit. So that one got no views. And then I did another view. Yeah, Carlos, the thing is, like, a lot of people aren't. Like, sometimes if you're into toys, you might not be into video games. If you're into video games, you might not be in toys or whatever. You know, sometimes they cross. And the thing is, I did not have much faith in the game because, you know, like, look, G.I. Joe and Transformers are, G.I. Joe and Transformers are top brands, but there's something different about being a brand and you have to support a video game. And I don't think in modern days, I don't know if G.I. Joe can support a video game, even though we would all love a video game. You got to think about the normies that don't collect toys. Like, are they going to buy that video game because they want to play it because they think it's so good? I don't know if that's the case. We would want to play it because we like G.I. Joe and we want to be immersed in that stuff. But normies, people who are just like out there playing stuff, might not play it. So I do understand that it was canceled, and you know what? That's too bad. But we got to move on. But anyways, nobody watched that video. I think it's got under 100 views. It's really weird. YouTube is always so critical to me after the new year, going into February. In January and February, it's so bad all the time. Then Skybound put out a notification that, Mask is coming to the Energon universe. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Now, of course, the Energon universe, I think the guys over the Skybound have been doing such an amazing job with the crossovers and the stories and the writing. And, I mean, I really enjoy how the Transformers and the G.I. Joe guys cross over. That's something we've always wanted to see as a kid, right? Right from the get-go, you're like, well, can we have these things cross over? And we got it a couple times, but now it's more linked together. And I'm so excited that they decided to bring Mask back, like with like a full, like its own comic book. They'll have crossovers. Matt Tracker's already been in the G.I. Joe comic book. And I hope to see a lot more crossovers between like Transformers, Mask, and G.I. Joe. And you know what? This has me wondering. We already know that they're working on the animated series that's for adults for G.I. Joe and Transformers. Will they include Mask in there as well? Maybe not as like I don't know, like a main tier, but as a cameo, more of as a side cameo. That would be really cool. I mean, I think that is a possibility, and I really hope it does actually happen. The construction toys that were bubbles in the 80s. Oh, I think I vaguely remember those. Build vehicles and stuff, and they were motorized. I do remember. I didn't remember what they were called. I do remember what we were talking about now. Carlos says, my son is a gamer, so I was hoping it would be an awesome game that he might pick up. That's I think a lot of people thought that. Hasbro has to put some real money into game development, take some risks. Yeah, they're not a game company, so I don't know why they're really into it. What do they mean, Energon universe? Sorry, I don't mean to dumb it down for you or whatever. But like they have the Skybound, the G.I. Joe comic, and the Skybound Transformer comic, and they're in the same universe. They do crossovers, and they just call it the Energon universe. There's also another comic called Void Rivals that takes place out in space. It has a lot of cameos with the Transformers in it as well. I haven't read that myself. So that's the third book. And now they're saying that they're going to do Mask as well, because the Mask team has made cameos in the G.I. Joe book. But the Mask guys are going to get their own comic book, and it's going to be all interlinked in the what they call the Energon universe. It's like the MCU, right? The Marvel Cinematic Universe with all the movies. Well, this is like the Energon universe, is that their continuity between all the 4 books. Shane says, Energon universe is a good universe. I totally agree with you. And Carlos says, if Mask enters the 112 scale, my interest will be peaked. Well, I did a video on that on my channel. We talked about that in depth here as well on the live stream. I think it's a no-brainer. I think they need to do a subline of Mask figures in the 112. Well, actually, sorry. I get confused. Is classified 112 or is classified 118? Somebody answer me. Okay, classified or 112, right? Okay. Classified or 112. So yeah, I already think that's an awesome idea. They won't do any Mask toys because Hasbro is anti-springs in their toys. Ha. Add Visionaries to it as well. Visionaries might be cool as well. Yeah. Crossovers, man. I don't want peanut butter in my chocolate. Liquid, come on. You got to get on board, buddy. Hasbro could make Mask a classified subline. I agree. Ronan, there's a video on my channel. Watch it. It's a good idea. Here, I'll find you the link. I'm getting tired. There's a link to that video about the 112 figures and Mask. Sub says, why call it Energon when there was an Energon for Transformers in the past and confuses me? Yeah, no, I get that. But the Energon runs a lot of the the Cobra weapons, and the Transformers are after it. So it's kind of what all links it all together or whatever, right? So that's something they went with. Thanks, Carlos. I can never remember the ratio numbers, and so I always get confused. And so that's why I'm like, is 112 classified? And yeah, thanks, so it was. Liquid's here. I keep my Joe in the a Real American Hero world. No Cobra Law, no Mask, no Space Goons, just pure Joe. Liquid, I hear you. It makes sense. It makes sense. But, you know, sometimes we got to have a little leakage crossover. Well, you can't have Mask toys without spring-loaded action. I know, I agree. Those, the spring-loaded actions are what it's about. I love Mask. Big fan of it. I haven't picked up any of the reissues. They're expensive. But I would totally be fine with classified 112 size subline in G.I. Joe. Mask O-ring scale would be cool as well. That was a missed opportunity. Like, they should have kept them in the same scale as G.I. Joe figures. Oh yeah, no pressure, Ronan. You don't need to watch it. I just wanted to throw it out there in case you did want to check it out. But don't feel any pressure to watch it. Guys, if you haven't already, think about hitting that like button, as well hitting subscribe if you're new to the channel. Yeah, so Mask is coming. Like I said, I hope this means it might show up in the cartoon as well, because I mean, one would think they're probably going to draw stories from the comic book series, or maybe they'll come up with original stuff. I can't remember if they've said anything about this. Oh, Sub, good job getting the Ninja Force Zartan. Like, did you put the pre-order in, or did you actually pick it up physically? So one thing they like to do in Skybound is they love to do like all these like alternate covers, and it's too much for me. I like this one here, and this one with the Transformers on the front is pretty badass too. So pretty cool. Lots of good options coming. And actually, they're going to do something weird with this as well. They're going to do a blind bag thing where like you can buy one and there could be any one of like a bunch of different comic covers in there. So that's kind of cool. Something I might do. It's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be good. If the drops now, of course, I did a video on this as well for Mask coming to Skybound. It drops on June 3rd, which is quickly coming. And then something else to consider. So, guys, be aware. Free Comic Book Day comes out May 2nd, 2026. Sorry, I was trying to find something. I don't know what I'm looking for. Anyways, so Free Comic Book is coming 2026 in May. It's the first Saturday in May. Okay, guys? It's always the first Saturday in May. Now, if you're not huge into comics, but you want something fun to do, or if you're big into comics, go to your local comic book store, find one. They'll all participate. And what you need to find is, what am I doing here, guys? What am I doing here? This one right here. What they're gonna do is they're gonna have a Energon Universe special. Okay. Damn, it's so big. Why is that so big? I haven't mastered loading up the images yet. Because, like, I don't really understand why they come out so big all the time. But other times, like, they come out their own size. So, like, I'm, like, spending so much time resizing this damn file. So there's a Transformer, they're gonna have an Energon Universe free comic book at the comic book store on Saturday, May 2nd, okay? In that book, there's going to be 4 sections. It's going to have a G.I. Joe section. It's going to have a Transformer section. It's going to have a Void Rival section. And now it's going to have a Mask section. So, it's kind of cool. And then I don't know if it's going to have 4 different covers, but it's going to have different covers as well. I don't know if they'll have different covers or there'll be the different sections in the book. I'm not really sure. But like, there's the G.I. Joe cover. I showed you the Transformer cover. This is the Void Rivals cover, which I'm not familiar with. And then I think this is supposed to be Mask. Okay? But it's classified right now because at the time, this is a new thing, right? So, the Mask comic book. So, this is the Mask section. You called in sub for the pre-order for Zartan. That's cool. Glad you were able to secure it. Apparently, people are saying pre-orders are all sold out, at least in America. For what? For Zartan? Well, Hasbro Pulse is probably sold out for sure. That's my birthday. Sub, it's your birthday? Well, you know what, Sub? You know what you do? On your birthday, go to your local comic book store. Tell them the SwishPOP sent you. And you know what? They'll give you some free comics for your birthday, okay? Make sure you pick up a copy of that Energon Universe featuring G.I. Joe, Transformers, Void Rivals, and Mask. Okay? Mask and Energon Universe before GTA 6. Good one. Primer. I'm an artist and I always do Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day is pretty fun. Usually, no matter what you're into, you can find some good stuff to get. Because usually there'll be like a Marvel one, couple DC ones, a lot of indie stuff, and then Sonic and like some really fun stuff. It's really good for the kids actually as well to get them interested in it. If you're in what's SC? What's SC? I'm not from Primer. I'm not from the States, so I can't remember what SC is. I want to say Sacramento, but is that Sacramento? No, it's not Sacramento. Never mind. That's a city, right? Greenville in May, I'll be doing art for free people on free comic book day. That's kind of cool. It's a 2 flip books. May 2nd, baby. Free comic books. Here I come. Yeah, Primer, we're just talking about that the announcement they made this week related to how Mask is going to get its own comic book, and there's a video up on my channel about it. Yeah, so, and then we were talking about free comic book day, how there's going to be a offering there, and I'll have the 4 different series in it. Like, I have to make a note. May 2nd, I will be here, okay, because I go on vacation on May 10th or something like that. So I'll be here. I'm going to have to make sure I go to the comic book store. You know what I'll do? I'll film it, and I'll make a reel out of it, and then I'll put it up on the channel. That's what I'll do. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Southern California. Okay, cool. Greenville. That's where you are. Primer's going to be at the comic book store doing flip books. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Dude's got some skills. What else we got saved here? Like, I don't know. Looks pretty cool. Now, so a little bit of controversy. If you're into controversy, I'm not really into controversy, but I'm looking for something to talk about really quickly. Most people by now have noticed that they've race swapped Matt Tracker. I don't really have a big deal with it. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? I understand why they do it, because they want to inject like new life into characters. I get it. I mean, nobody else looks like they've been changed or whatever. But sometimes I'm like, oh, do you want to do that because it ruins the nostalgia like of the property? You know, they could have easily introduced an additional character instead of changing Matt Tracker's race. But whatever, they did. Who cares? It's still Mask. It looks so badass. Of course, we've already met Matt Tracker in the Energon universe in that last year's free comic book day book offering. But overall, I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited, and I hope it is successful. Look at that Rhino busting through. Boom. Putting the glasses on for a second. I'm more into Contra on Nintendo. What are you talking about, sub? You're insane. Insane, my friend. Boom. So anyways, so that's coming. I'm really hope they really nail a lot more crossovers. I do hope by the introduction of Mask by Skybound and like making it bigger, it'll blow up a bit bigger. Maybe we'll get to see more product outcoming. Loyal Subjects obviously just showed up wave 2 of their retro reissue line from Mask at Toy Fair. Looks good. I have all of them, though, in the vintage ones, so I'm not going to pick them up. You said controversy. I don't care that Matt is black. I just find it funny that they never swap out black characters. White, Roblox, anyone? Yeah, I mean, that's the way it goes. Whatever. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? As long as the story and the action and the toys are cool or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter to me, anyways, but it's just interesting that they do it. I do find it's more of like a marketing gimmick to try to, you know, it's kind of like they're trying to appeal to new people, but like you're also, in a way, it's like a double-edged sword because you're trying to appeal to new people, but you're also alienating the people that liked it in the first place that would be more than likely your base that you're trying to sell it to. So it's kind of a weird thing. Yeah, sub, I know. Loyal Subjects not making... They made a statement actually recently saying that the product has not been quality and they're going to try to fix that for the next wave. So we'll see how it goes. Let me just check my list here. Yeah. So we've talked about the Royal Guard at Target available. That's kind of cool. I'm still impressed with that's out on the street in the Target toy already. We talked about the Ninja Turtle helicopter. Pretty cool indeed. Sub thinks it's going to be $329 Canadian. We talked about the Mask comics. The Mask comics are coming. So they're coming June 3rd. And you got to go to the free comic book day on Saturday, May 2nd. Go to your local comic book store and get a copy of the Energon Universe Summer Special that comes out in May. And that will, of course, probably lead into the full release of the Mask comic book on June 3rd. So that's kind of cool. Can you tell I'm hyped about that? Like, obviously, I love Transformers. I love G.I. Joe. But, like, Mask is starting to, like, weave its way in there. So, I mean, pretty cool. Yeah, that is cool indeed. What else we got here? So, we talked about the thrift store stuff. We talked about my mail call stuff. And we'll go back to the chat. We'll check with the chat quickly. Primer says it will be very well received. Hasbro has opened up everything to Skybound. Plus, they're going to bring them to Classified Line 2. I hope so, Primer. They have Vanessa Warfield looking hot. Baroness versus Warfield. Let's go. I mean, in that photo, that cover there, whoever did Vanessa, I mean, they have certainly, sexed her up a little bit or whatever. So, I mean, for a digital character, I think they've done a great job. Don't mind me. There's so much still artwork from this Mask layout. Like, there's just so much stuff, right? Like, they have just crazy amounts of content coming for Mask already. There's the Matt Tracker and the Thunderhawk. Getting some French fries at a fast food place. Pretty cool. I really hope the Mask series is very successful. Oh yes, Carlos, I totally agree with you. They've been really good job expanding the universe and making it come, just interlink with everything. So I'm really excited to see Mask join in. Hopefully they get some really dynamic stories. Really, I don't know. I'm not up on it like I mentioned earlier, so I'm not really familiar how much interaction Mask has had with Transformers as of yet. But I mean, it's really cool. They've done such a great job with it so far, and hopefully that great job continues. And like I said, like I poked at earlier, I hope the cartoon comes in here somewhere as well. Oh, main camera. Boop. These two little guys I'm gonna put these guys up on Facebook tonight. So I replaced these guys with bigger versions. So it is Beachcomber and Sea Spray. They're like the previous versions. I guess these are Combiner Wars or Titan Returns Scout. I can't remember what they're called. Anyways, they're smaller versions. I replaced them with bigger versions. These guys are gonna go the way out the door. Sorry, just seeing those guys here sitting at my messy desk while I was streaming here. So much stuff, like always. Okay, guys. So it is currently, what time is it? It is currently, as of the time check at the beep, the time will be 12:59 a.m. That's late. I'm waiting for it to tick over to 1 o'clock. So it's not there yet. But I do think we're going to call it a night here tonight. I was up super early this morning. I had to watch the gold medal game of the Olympics between Canada and USA. And so I was up super early this morning, and it's starting to kick my ass right now. I'm starting to get very, very tired. And I do not want to be that guy that falls asleep on the stream and you guys make fun of me. So I think we're going to call it now in a second. Beachcomber and Sea Spray need to cross over into the Joeverse. Yeah, I agree. Liquid, let's be real. 95% of heroes from the 80s cartoons are white, named 10 black, Asian, Hispanic, JoJo's. And yeah, I know. It's hard. That's how it was back in the day. You're right, John Bottles. I get it. I woke at 11 a.m. and missed the game. Glad I didn't waste my time. Beachcomber, Ozstriker, Sea Spray, Killer Whale. Yeah, totally no-brainers, right? Yeah, totally. Okay. I don't know what your point is. Mandela doesn't do JoJo. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I think I actually have to go now. I do appreciate everyone that stopped by. If you haven't done already, think about hitting that like button as well. Hit subscribe button if you're not a member. Also, check out the links in Amazon. There's Amazon Canada, Amazon USA there. You know what? There's lots of stuff to be able to pre-order there. I've been updating the hot deals section every week. I update it with the latest stuff I find and make sure it's easy for you guys to find some hot deals on some JoJo and Transformer stuff. So check those links out if you can. Appreciate it. And you know what? I think we'll call it there because I am actually getting really, really sleepy. So thank you for dropping by. Guys, I love the little community we're building here. I love how the same people are dropping by all the time. And you know what? Hopefully we'll still continue to expand this. I might, yeah, anyways. So next week, I should be back at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you know what? Maybe I'll have more stuff from the thrift store to show you or some Facebook Marketplace pickups. Because I do love picking stuff up from Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. Anyways, so thank you for attending. Thank you for dropping by. And I will see you next week. Okay, guys? Have a good weekend. Good night. And don't forget Battle Force 2000 from Sub. No way, Sub. No way. No way. Not doing it. Anyways, have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.